And Matthew Solar again working it behind. Ball fired down the ice by USA. Here is Peralt. Nice little move there. We got Gearing here and says, I'll just fire. Goes off someone's head. Almost finds the player. USA sends it over. Martin Bassan up to Gearing, comes back in. Gracie Pierre-Boutin. Bassan possessing. Canada gets back on side again. Nice little spin by Ashley Harvey to get out. What a crafty move by her to advance her team. And Julie Pierre-Boutin and her connect. USA taking it the other way. Jake Stein, but Jake Stein is all alone. Bassan behind the goal. Bassan up to Demers. Demers looking to advance it forward. Misses his guy there. Still though, Whalen comes out and makes the smart play there, clearing it out. Ashley Harvey sends it in deep. Peralt working here on the corner. Peralt bringing it back high. Bassan back to Peralt. Peralt working high. Nice little shot pass down low. Jewel sends it in. That's a dangerous ball. And the quick, speedy Barb Dubs gets in there. Hugh Trin gets the better of her. Matt Stein with the ball behind the goal. Stein working. Here comes Barb Dubs. Just a little bit of pressure. Dolan Jewel and Barb Dubs in pressuring hard on the USA. Stein tries to work it out the other side. Another deep pass that goes up the ice, and that is Jack McGowan just opting to send it in. Beauchemin back in to Pierre Messier. He nicely passes it out to Barb Dubs, who's going to try to work the ball again here against Johnny Sin, and she goes down. Jen Rebels. Nice defensive play there to put that out of the zone by Jewel. Gage Grace with the ball. Grace attempts to send it in on a nice short middle pass. Does not work. Grace in. Peralt applying pressure to Grace here. Finds Hannah Dunn up the boards. Little back and forth here from Dunn. And Grace has it. Nice to see the USA settling in a little bit to this breakout. This is Grace with the ball. Looks to go deep, blocked by Chloe Peralt. Gets it back again. Grace looking to advance it out. The USA just struggling here to get it out of their zone. This is Matthew Solar with the ball again. Solar possesses, attempts to make a pass out front. Normand goes across the ice here. Ball played in. This is Ben Sherratt working behind the goal. Wow, that's a hard run in there by Normand. Peralt. Oh, wow. Listen, Matthew Solar doing a lot of work here for Team Canada to keep them in the zone. Jen Revels, back the ball to Hannah Dunn. Solar lays out for it, cannot retrieve it, but still comes back nonetheless. There is just no quit in this guy who sends it out in front of the net. And Whalen somehow manages to cover that up from a swinging Normand. And Canada, with 30 seconds left in this game, still is kept off the board. It's like Canada could maybe get a couple more chances in here. USA been struggling to get it out of their zone in this last series. Canada just working really hard in this one. They clearly do not want this to go to 5 games, send the ball across. The USA's Sam Turfa in to receive it. We have Thibault working here back behind the goal. And he just opts to send it down the ice. You know, the USA team might be a little bit better served with the Canadian team just sending someone to the right of the frame and someone to the left frame, of just having a couple of players like back for super short passes, and then they automatically, once they make that first pass, are passed to the Canadian defenders, opting for these long passes. However, here is Canada looking to get 1 or 2 more good scoring chances. Battle behind the net. This is Ashley Harvey not letting up on Thibault, not even a little bit. Still battling back behind the net, and the USA freezes Canada out here. So it is still 0-0. I think we can all agree that we were hoping to see a little bit more high-scoring game in this one. The USA really putting on a clinic and finishing in the last one, and so far the USA just not generating as many good chances in this one. It seems that the Canada mixed team has rose up to the call, potentially just saying to themselves, like, we're not letting that happen again. So gonna need a little bit more here from Team USA in the second half, possibly some more methodical play in order for them to bring this series up to 2-2. This Canada mixed team, always an impressive group. I know seeing some of these players last year in the championship game in France in the World Tournament, I recognize several of the names on this roster from that game. So know some of these players, know that they can bring it. Also know that this USA mixed team might be the grittiest group of broomball athletes in the game. I think we can all agree as a USA broomball community, when we think grit, when we think like work ethic, never quit, many of the names on this USA mixed roster come up. So I don't think this is a team that's going to give up easily just because of the resumes from the Canada mixed team. So here we go. We have one more half to play to determine if we are going to go to a game 5 or if Canada will close this out after 4. So Turfa in the face-off circle against Perrault. Turfa wins it. Back to Parisian. Parisian sends it back to Stein. Stein, turnover there. Julie Pierre-Botten, turnover back again. Unfortunately, Vickery couldn't do anything with the ball, and Canada looks to send it back in the zone. And Perrault thinks to go deep. Instead, goes down to Barb Dubs, who takes a nice, dangerous shot in front there. Parisian with the ball back to Stein. Stein has Elke on his left. Elke receives the ball. Elke goes back to Stein. And then we have another long pass here, and this is Mac Turfa running onto it. Cannot control it. And this could be a 3-on-2 the other way. It is not, but Canada is still in the zone with Julie Pierre-Botten. That's Hannah Dunn pressuring on her. Pierre-Botten takes it in behind and finds Dolan Jewell. Jewell holds the ball. Now it's up at Pierre Messier. Messier working on Trin. And Stein looks to flip it out. It will not get out. Messier controls it at the red, sends it back into Solar. Solar working 1-on-2. He has no problem with that, though. He's still going to advance the ball a little deeper into the zone here, working against Jake Stein. Solar still with it. Solar still working with Jake Stein. Nice little spin move by Solar. Attempts to go far post, and that is a great chance for Team Canada. Just missed. Camille Beauchemin. And we are back up high to Messier. Messier thinks about passing it to Solar and does. Solar working out here with Jake Stein. This is a great matchup. This is who I would put on Solar. These two can have fun. Running after it, nice play, nice shot in there by Peralt. Goes back up to Beauchemin. She passes it off to Normand. Normand goes in, finds Solar, who's gonna turn and fire right into a waiting Stein. And Stein's gonna go in one-on-one. Get a shot off. That's a nice hard shot, well off the mark. But here, oh, Thibault thought about it. Thibault, and said, no, that's probably offsides there, but we're going to let him play on. And this is Chloe Peralt. Great hands on her, makes a great pass, almost a great scoring chance for Canada with Mathieu Normand. USA gains possession behind the goal. We are a little bit more back and forth this half. It's really fun to see both teams now getting up and down the ice. USA slowing it down. The USA players are running away from Thibault again, and as they continue to rely on that long out. And this is to Johnny Sin. Johnny Sin working 1-on-3. McGowan comes in, tips it up to Revels. McGowan wants it back for a one-timer and hits the net. I like that little sequence there from the USA. You all who have been listening for the last few games know how I feel about the ball getting in the net. However, great little sequence there by USA. So Canada's going to regroup back into the USA zone just outside of the blue line here with Gearing taking the face, losing that face off to Johnny Sin. Matt Stein just sends it down the ice. This one's going to go on frame. Goalie's going to easily play that off to Sanford. Sanford possesses. Elke slowly works her way in for a little bit more pressure, but she does have two players. She's playing great position right now. And she somehow manages to get it off. And here we go, great chance. Grace whiffs on it. USA maintains possession. This is Parisian. Parisian finding Stein. Stein looking over far side, finds Grace. Grace is gonna try to send it across, denied by Canada, somehow pops out again. Stein fires it in again, great pass. Grace get a chance to redeem himself and does not. Canada's Sanford possessing behind the goal. Peralt likely gonna slow his team down there after that little flurry of action by USA. Smart player, looking to regain some composure for his team again here in the back. Also not afraid to go 2-on-1, seemed risky. Great play, Peralt maintains possession. And Canada was in there with Dahl and Jewell. Dahl and Jewell missing the pass. USA manages to get it out. Nice little out. Jewell possessing deep in the zone. Ben Sherratt takes it around behind the goal, passes it out, somehow finds his teammate there. That's Kyle Vickery who tries to send it up. And another ball into the USA bench. I don't know if the USA mixed team painted a bunch of targets on their helmets, but it just seems we've had a lot of action over on that bench here. All right, Peralt losing the faceoff to USA's Turfa. USA has possession behind the goal. This is Ben Sherratt on the ball. Sherratt looking for friends, finds Turfa. Turfa goes up the line. Little bit not enough as Canada's Bassan brings it back in. One-handed shot there by Alex Peralt. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, wow, that is Dahl and Jewell with two near misses. I think he's wondering how not either of those went in. We're all a little confused up here in the booth too, but he's gonna try again. Wow, another great offensive flurry executed there by Dahl and Jewell. Barb Dubs in on the action as well. And yet Canada can still not put one away. Hugh Trin battling on the boards against two Canadians. This is two Canadian women against one American woman. Canada comes away with it. Martin Bassan takes the shot. A lot of tips happening in there. Canada behind the goal, finds Jewel again. Jewel just really committed to these short, easy passes into the goal, and it's working. Peralt spins out. Peralt spins back in. Peralt takes it on the boards, fires a shot into the net. He thought that was tipped by Trin. I can't say if it was or it wasn't, but nonetheless, I guess the referees do agree that that ball was tipped, so it will stay right here in the zone. Hopefully Team USA can survive the onslaught of Canadian pressure here in the last few minutes. And they win the face-off. Thibault possessing, Thibault going long. McGowan on the run. Sent back in here by Pierre Messier. Thibault manages to get it out that time, and McGowan runs hard but cannot get there. Canada just too composed here. Here we go. This is Matthew Solar on the run yet again. McGowan gets it. McGowan to Thibault. Thibault to Stein. Stein should just turn and go here. He does not. So now we're going to have a hard cross ice pass out to Jen Revels, who's running on. Jen Revels providing a little bit of pressure there, not a whole lot, as Canada makes a change, collects itself, and gets ready to come back the other way. USA set up here in a 2-3. Not applying a ton of pressure right now, not the same kind of pressure they applied in the first. And here is Ashley Harvey. Ball back to Lynn Whalen. Lynn Whalen, a goalie, great with playing the ball off her hands. A little bit of a battle. McGowan whiffs on it, cannot get it out. Canada Sanford sends it back in. Nice defensive play. This is Ashley Harvey, gets picked, and Jen Revel says enough and sends it out and down the ice, where it is collected by Canada's Gracie Sir. And here comes Grace the other way, but that is going to be an offside call. Canada on a little bit of run here. USA so far withstanding the pressure. Gearing, face-off circle against Johnny Sin. Johnny Sin walks away with it. Shelby Parisian, nice little pass out up to Grace. Grace flips out, finds Johnny Sin. Johnny Sin's trying to work in deep. Gearing comes back for it. And Gearing with a nice little chip pass out that Ben Sherratt playing center field puts right back into the USA zones, but it's not enough because here is DeMars coming back down the ice. Just one pressuring. Ball back to Sherratt. Sherratt to Elke. Elke finds Sin, not ready for it. Wow, Elke. And here comes the ball. Thought that one was going to end up in the crowds. It did not. Johnny Sin advances the ball. He's got Grace with him. He's got Elke with him on the far side. He's got Thibault in behind. Ball with Thibault. Thibault off the boards to Johnny Sin. Johnny Sin fires the shot dangerously in front of the net. We're going to get a second chance here by Sin. Cannot put it on frame. A little bit battle back behind the net. We got Sanford, Sin. USA trying to provide a little bit of pressure to keep it out. Canada composed as usual here with Ashley Harvey putting it back safely. Canada's going to walk it out. Here comes Peralt. Back in to receive the ball from Pierre Botin. Sends it up to Jewel. Jewel looks to advance it past Thibault. Cuts middle. Nice move there by Dahlin. Lynn Scafty safely clears it away. Great play. Goalie Lynn Whalen bailing out Thibault on that one. And the ball up and into the crowd, who opts to not keep it, sends it back into play. Now those things are expensive. Good ones are really hard to come by. I think I might have put that in my purse if it came up. Especially if you're a mixed player, you know that you lose a lot more balls as a female player because some of those guys really smack it around. So here we go. USA attempting to come out of the zone here. And that is Vickery working hard on the boards. That is Peralt who goes down. I don't see anyone's arms up. They're really gonna let him play here today. Jewel finds Peralt. Peralt to Barb Dubs. Back, nice little back pass there to Peralt, who looks across the ice and sees Bassan. Canada setting up in the USA offensive zone again. This is Bassan to Peralt. Ball looked like we were trying to make a run through. Didn't want it to go there. Peralt working with Martin Bassan. Oh, a nice one-timer chance there. This is Jewel, sends it in. Lynn Whalen makes a great save. Ball goes back out to Trin, who is under a lot of pressure out here on the board and cannot get it out. Jewel flip, wow. That is a hard flip and in. Lynn Whalen being asked to make all sorts of big saves here in this one to keep this thing at 0-0, and she's coming up big today. Haven't seen Lynn Whalen's, I think, in this tournament, has conceded just a few goals, and every goal conceded by Lynn Whalen. I don't think there's a female goalie in the game that could have had it. Great game here by Whalen as she keeps her team in this one. And ultimately in the tournament as well, the next goal could be the decider. Canada maintains possession. Peralt working it in with Solar. Peralt back again. USA and just a defensive wall here. USA not necessarily extending their zone a lot. They are really setting up that wall here on each side of the ball. And possibly because Canada just doesn't seem like a team that's afraid to shoot through it. Although in this game, Canada is still attempting to shoot through some of the USA defenders, but they are looking, I think they must have watched the video and seen that they're looking to go inside just a little bit more. Just haven't been able to put one away here today. So still at 0-0. Stein works back behind the goal, finds Sherratt. Here comes Beauchemin on the pressure, maintains possession. Stein with the ball. He's got Sherratt to his left. Sherratt leaves. Everyone seems to run away here. Stein. Now he has McGowan coming in. Stein sends it long and finds Sherratt. Sherratt working here against Beauchemin. Beauchemin and McGowan. McGowan having a hard time finding the net here today, but does get the shot off. Jen Rebels working hard. Canada is back in. This is Matthew Solar. Matthew Solar now working against Thibault. Solar smartly possessed it until the two defenders that went for a line change could get back on the ice. We now have Gracie Sir possessing up high. Back to Solar, who takes a one-timer, far post on the ground. That is a great shot by Matthew Solar. I complimented his goal in the last game because he has a way of finding those low shots that are just so hard for goalies to see. Another low banger by Matthew Solar into the far post, and this gives Canada mixed a 1-0 lead, and the USA 6 minutes to come back in this one and reclaim any tournament hopes they had. All right, USA fights for his life, and here comes Gage Grace on hard. Misses the pass back in front of the net. Sends it back up to Hannah Dunn. Dunn to Stein. Stein puts it in front of the net. The ball's bouncing around. And Canada brings it outside. Stein. Flipped in. Dangerous. Nice play there by Stein. Elke. And a little bit of a takedown there. No arms went up. I think the refs like it. Little bit of pushing and shoving here. Nice far side chance for Johnny Sin there. The USA really putting a little bit of pressure on Canada. Responding nicely to that Canadian goal. Stein working in behind. Gets dispossessed by Canada's Demars. Demars coming around the goal. Stein just won't give up. And that is Gracie's serve, flipping it into her own bench so her team can get a change. Smart play there by Gracie Sir. The USA putting a lot of pressure on here in that last shift as they do everything they can to bring this back up to 1-1. Charlie Mitchell into the face-off circle. Looking for a Mitchell-Turfa connection here. Barb W looks to advance it out. Needs a little bit of help, but does. Sherratt in deep. Sherratt looking for Turfa. Turfa on the boards over here with Bassan. Ball goes back to Sherratt. Sherratt to Thone. Thone tries to flip it out and does, and Hugh Trin is on the run here with a couple of people to help. Mispasses it to, goes into Canada's Bhutan. USA maintains possession. This is Turfa behind the goal. Finds Charlie Mitchell. What can Charlie Mitchell do with it? Turfa gets up, collects himself, receives. The ball goes back to Mitchell behind the goal. And here's a shot by Sherratt. And the race is on. Can Andy keep it in? Andy Thone does keep it in. Falls to Jewel, who sends it to Perrault. And Perrault just sends it out. That should probably be icing, and it is. Dolan Jewel can't quite catch up with that. Canada here on their heels just a little bit after taking that 1-0 lead. The USA providing a lot of pressure here, doing a really good job. I'm glad to see. I wish they had never taken it. They seem like they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit in the first half here, made Canada not have to work too hard for the breakout. But they're back on again, so here we go with Johnny Sin taking the face off. Canada gains possession behind the goal. Grace pressuring hard over here on the boards. Grace comes away with it. Nice little shot. Johnny Sin just a little bit late to that far post. Sin, little tiny bit of body checking between him and Normand, and the USA puts it in. That was a fun little sequence, a lot of contact there. The USA coming to life to make this 1-1. That goal just featured just a little bit of everything, a lot of body contact, a lot of nice short passes by the USA, and the USA finding a way to get bodies in front of the net again so they can put it away. Who scored? Yeah, I'm not sure who got that goal for the USA. That was Hall of Famer Jen Revels putting it away for the USA. She is no stranger to international play. USA in hard again. And Canada takes a penalty. It's interference here on Gracie Sir. Not a great sequence of events here. Canada losing all momentum after that USA goal and then taking a penalty. So we are going to see the USA power play again here. Most likely we'll see that power play. It looks like we have a timeout called. Not a whole lot of time left to play in this one. I think the USA is smart here to talk about this, figure it out. You know, I might give the advantage in the OT to Canada. Canada is used to playing that 3-on-3 with goalie OT in co-rec, and the USA just does not play that system very often. So USA talking with Coach Grant Dawson, making sure they are all set up on a plan for this one. Canada, I fully expect, will send out 15 Martin Bassan here. He is in my mind like the penalty kill artist for this mixed team. And Key is on the ice along with Peralt, who's in the face-off circle. Face-off is won to PK artist Martin Bassan. USA coming in, USA. Stein barely misses. Is it in? Did she get it? It looks like Christina Boyven just manages to hold on. Ball just dangling on the post there. Great offensive play for USA. Face-off one. And this is Johnny Sin with the ball up high. Sin to Stein. Back to Sin, to Stein. Finds Charlie Mitchell. Charlie Mitchell thinks about shooting. Stein, back to Sin. Takes that shot. That's a great shot. Hutrin with a chance in low. Cannot connect. Nice play to get it out here by Bassan. And Bassan works up the ice. He finds Jewel far side. Jewel with the ball. And Jewel just using his big body to possess for as long as he can. Jewel still with it. Finally, Charlie Mitchell bats it away. Charlie Mitchell finds Stein. Parisian off for a shift. Hannah Dunn. Hannah Dunn back to Johnny Sin. Sin finds Dunn in deep here. Stein with the ball up top. Fires! That's a great shot from Ben Sherratt there. Ben Sherratt keeps it. Keeps it, finds Stein up high. Back to Sherratt. Sherratt to Stein. Back across to Johnny Sin. Back to Stein. Nice little back and forth here. Chance in low. Does not get through. And we are down to just about 15 seconds left on this penalty. USA might be able to get one more chance in here. And they're going to try to do it through Johnny Sin. Back to Stein. Stein carrying it in. Goes in low. Nice shot there by Johnny Sin. Does not go. Hugh with the ball. And Canada is back to full strength. USA maintains possession. This is Jake Stein. And Jake Stein just having an incredible tournament here. Nice play by Jake Stein. And Hutrin sends it back to Thibault. Jake Stein goes off for a much-needed break. Turfa on. Dunn races off as well. Both teams are tired. Canada stuck out defending. Oh, that is great. USA getting taken down there. Vickery, I don't think the refs are going to call anything unless it's super obvious. Hutrin hung up, caught with the referee. Turfa sends it back to Thibault. And Thibault tries to flip it in, mishandles the flip. Hutrin is just mixing it up with that ref. That's twice that he stymied her as she tried to get it out of the zone. Andy Thone. And Thone just smartly gets it out of the zone here. One more chance there for Kyle Victory. A diving shot goes nowhere. Well, here we go. We are into an overtime game. This is going to start out, it'll be 3-on-3 for 5 minutes of running time. Each team will have 2 men and 2 women on the ice. And potentially, if that sudden death period does not end our contest, then we will say goodbye and good game to both of our goalies for today, and then we will come out in a 4-on-4 no goalie situation, and we will play that until the tournament comes to an end. And Schnotty, rink manager extraordinaire here at New Hope, is probably sitting around somewhere with his dog, sweating this one out, hoping that this doesn't go too deep into overtime, because this group needs to be off the ice by 6:15 tonight, and we still got, after this one, potentially, if this series goes to 5 games, that means we got 3 more games to play. So we will see how this one shakes out, but the USA mixed team does not care about our rink manager's schedule here. They are going to do everything they can to move this game on to a 5th and final game. The mixed team from Canada would love to give some breathing room for the mixed team and just end this right here in OT. So USA on the ice first for them is Jen Revels. Jen Revels has more experience on her back than half of this co-ed team combined, and she will partner with Johnny Sin here, as well as it looks to be, I think, is that Gage Grace. So Grace, Revels, and Johnny Sin. Canada has Ashley Harvey. They have Martin Bassan and Alex Perrault. Perrault with it. Perrault finds Harvey. Harvey is working up the ice against Jen Revels. Can she go? And she does. She slips past her. And goalie Lynn Whalen with a giant save, bailing out her team there for that one. Game continues. Nice turn by Ashley Harvey. These Canada women have wheels and hands, and it's fun to see. All right, Grace up to Johnny Sin. Johnny Sin, ball knocked out of the zone, but he maintains possession. Grace, Sin, Hutrin on the ice for USA. So far, no shifting has happened for Canada. They still have Perrault. Oh, and we have our first shift here, and this is Jake Stein possessing. Jake Stein high. Jake Stein finds Grace. Grace brings it back up high, working against Perrault. Back up to Stein. Stein, little spin move there, still possesses. And he shoots, fires. Perrault comes away with it, and Perrault slips. Hugh goes into pressure, and there's a penalty coming on Hugh Trin for that double team. Canada's gonna pull their goalie here. USA needs to work hard to get that ball here. They do not want this penalty to go into the 4-on-4. They have to step up and figure out a way to get this ball back, because this penalty will be running time if they can get the ball and kill it. I do not know why they are sitting back here. Honestly, Canada should just possess it as long as they possibly can, because this penalty, if they can get it, any part of it in that 4-on-4, that will be an even bigger advantage for them. So Canada just working it around here. That's Chloe Perrault, and it looks like Hutrin is going to touch up before she heads off to the box for her team. So USA here, and this is not necessarily game over for USA. You will likely see them set up in their zone with a great shot blocker to goalie Lynn Whalen's left, another great shot blocker to her right. Canada will move this around outside. They are not afraid to shoot, though, through any number of bodies. So the USA team needs to be ready to block shots. And I think they're going to take a timeout and talk about their game plan here for this. This is also a nice little break for Canada to send out exactly who they want here. And this penalty will be a 2-minute penalty. We have 2 minutes and 6 seconds left on the clock. This is good news for the USA. If they can kill this penalty, will they still have their goalie in the net? We will go to 4-on-4 with no goalie. Both that 2 minute and 6 seconds, and then obviously the penalty. Those will both be running time here. And gotta have a lot of nerves over on the USA bench right now. Probably not a lot of experience, on the USA side, killing a penalty that looks like this. But this USA team is gritty and crafty. They know how to block shots. A lot of these guys hail from the Blizzard team, a team that's worked their way on up to the men's A division, and they haven't done it. Without being just incredibly hard workers. So the USA team, it looks like they are going to send in Tebow. I like this choice. And they also are sending Sam Turfa in. Turfa on the face-off. And this is Canada's Bassan. A pass across, great block by Tebow. Another shot, and that one finds its way home by Martin Bassan. Martin Bassan earning the game winner in this game, and that is also the series winner, as that means tournament over for Team USA. So winner there for Martin Bassan. Heck of a game for Martin Bassan. Man, that guy does more than kill penalties, also finds the back of the net on that game winner shot. So up next here we will have the final game in the Canada men's series. That is knotted currently at 2-2. And then following that game, we will also have the final game in the women's series. That game also knotted up at 2-2. So it is series over for the mixed division. Winning 3-1 over USA. So this is it for me. Thank you for everybody listening along. It's been fun to, I guess I've been just talking to myself here for the last hour with nobody talking back to me. So thank you for listening. The men's game will be coming up here shortly.
Okay, the fun continues. 2.5 minutes until Game 5 of the Super Series for the men. 2-2, all knotted up. The Canadian mixed team just secured the Super Series victory 3-1 over the USA mixed team. 2 of the 4 games went to overtime. All but one of the games decided by a single goal. The lone game, the Minnesota victory, or the American victory, 4-1 over the Canadian mixed team. This was a 2-1 overtime win for Canada, and they're a third of the way towards a Super Series sweep and halfway towards securing the Golden Loon, which is the traveling trophy given to the winner of the Super Series. And we'll see. We'll know a lot more here at the end of this game on who's going home with the bird or not. Both teams ready and warming up. Ice had to resurface, so we should be in good shape that way. Ice was getting a little spotty, but now it's fresh for everybody. Couple of games to go. New Hope has been a good host. Nice facility. Ice is in good shape. Lights are bright. M&Ms are tasty. Have to give a special shout out to all of the volunteers this weekend that dedicated so much of their own personal time so that this event could happen on behalf of the whole broomball community. The volunteers have worked like dogs to put this on so that the athletes can showcase their talent and their skill, and without them it wouldn't be possible. Special shout outs to the broadcast booth. Luke Snell, technical wizard, and do we call him a computer nerd, or is that offensive in this day and age? I don't know. I only say it with affection and love, but if you've been happy with the streaming, 99.9% of the responsibility for that is to my left in Luke Snell. If you've enjoyed the steady camera work, it's a big shout out to Lenny Jagosinski. I've pronounced it wrong for a year and a half, so Lenny Jagosinski has done the camera work for us. And then you've had this idiot talking to you most of the weekend, and I apologize for that. But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We're about to get going here. If you like marbles, this is for all of them. Game 5, 2-2. Last minute stretching by Tony Sikic. Corey Swanson taps gloves with the 2 defenders. Eccles in to take the draw for Broughton, or typically would be Pete Sikic. Petey Sikic not on the bench for the Americans, and they'll go game 5 without Pete Sikic. Walby's in a run early. Walby tries to tap it to Broughton and does. Broughton fans on the shot, and it's well defended by Ponsack. An early chance for the Americans. Developing story here, no Pete Sikic, the best American player off the bench. Not sure if he got hurt in the last game or what happened, but Eccles takes his spot in the rotation. Eccles can find, or Courtright can find Walby. Walby with the back end, tipped in, just wide. Sauve up to the task. They'll get a quick change. Zach Leon. Courtright touches it to Lee. Lee saucers that towards Charlie Bear, but it's ripped out and down for icing by Ponsack. Pass was a little behind Bear, little slight miscommunication. We'll have a face-off low. Wow. Not sure why there's no Pete Sikich for game 5. Either a personal conflict or a personal injury. I don't know. I don't have the story. Zach Lee has shifted up to center